This conference will now be
All
recorded.
right, good evening. The Cottage Grove Town Board will hold a public meeting beginning at 6:30 PM on Monday, August 17th, 2026 at the Town Hall, 4058 County Road N, Cottage Grove, Wisconsin. I'll call the meeting to order. We have a quorum present. Let's all stand for the flag pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everyone. We have the minutes of our last meeting.
Can't make the motion till I wasn't here.
That's right.
I do have a typo, minor typo. Item C, under number one, Roman numeral run, the last line should be 40 instead of 50. It was 40 every place else.
I'll make a motion to approve the August 3rd meetings with that small minor thing from the person that wasn't here.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes with the minor correction. Any discussion? Hearing those, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign,
Abstain.
and one abstention. 401. Finance report to approval of bills. Any further quick trip issues at all?
No, I've just been paying it each time, so it's for sure on time. I'm losing checks. There's another check in there that is a check to Public Health in Dane County. That's where I pay the Lincoln specials when they get collected, and they never got a check from last March. So I canceled that, and I'm repaying that along with one that I'm paying now. So I mean, checks are just disappearing.
Took mine forever.
That's right. Yours took like 2 weeks to get.
Like 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, great.
The mail is just not reliable.
Is the money still there though?
Yeah, it never has been cashed. Well, I mean, I asked them about it because it's been sitting around all this time and they say they don't have it, so I pulled it out of positive pay and reissued it. In fact, I probably should have included that voided check number on here. I didn't do that. That would be, 38536 is the one I voided. There we go.
38536. Got it.
$12.
Who's it now?
Public Health of Dane County.
What was the check number?
38536.
Here it is. 36.
I came over the bridge on BB today. On the way here. Still open.
Yeah, I know tomorrow.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the checks issued 38,808 to 38,829 with with one that is voided 38,536 and EFT payments of 13,370, 118.
Second. It was 826. What? 38826?
38,536, wasn't it?
38536.
No, I mean, you had said 38829 for approved too.
Oh, I did.
That's what I heard.
Well, let's go
You know
with
what you meant.
38826.
There we go. There's a motion and a second.
And also I am scheduled to pay 345619. That's the quick trip payment.
Okay,
You have the card payment for that?
Yeah, it's an ACH.
Should that be part of the motion or what?
It should, yeah.
Okay, add that. Whatever she just said.
Okay. I'll second that.
it was Quick Trip, right?
Yes.
Quick trip. Trip of the quick.
All right, there's a motion and a second to approve checks 38,808 through 38,826 with 38,536 void and EFT payments of $13,370.18 and the Quick Trip transfer, ACH, I guess. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. And for the pages, building permit.
You notice on the last page that there were some additional charges not for building permits, and those were for property maintenance enforcement. Jim has been enforcing some property maintenance issues, including sending them some letters, and he actually just issued tickets for, I guess, 2 or 3 of them last week. That we're not making any headway. So anyway, that time is billed, obviously, because it's not part of a building permit. So it's billed in the town. When it's working for
For
the
what
building.
kind of stuff?
Junky yards, mainly.
Going on Vilas?
Mhm.
Good. Good.
I'll move approval of the building permits.
Motion and a second to approve the building permits as presented. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Who seconded that?
You need to have lots of building permits. Wow.
I don't think it's gonna slow down anytime soon.
It's hard to
I'm
believe.
still waiting for mine to get on the list yet, so. Yeah,
We've already hit our budget for building permit revenue this year.
Good, that's good.
You know, like $86 at a time. Those roofing permits are all $86. Their budget was 55,000.
Jesus.
next item, public concerns, the public's opportunity to speak to the town board about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. Chris?
Do we know when they're going to start replacing the bridge on Ann?
Down by Nadbig?
Yeah,
After school, that's out next year. That's what I had a meeting with the county highway, when was it, week before last, trying to get them to agree to do the half close so we get some traffic through there. And unfortunately, I struck out, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, but they're waiting until after school is out before they do it.
in 27.
Huh?
In 27,
Correct.
okay.
And to have it done prior to school starting.
Okay. My other thing is, at your last meeting, you approved that RI zoning, and I was curious as to what the benefit that you saw that I did not see to the township, if you could tell me.
As far as, oh, you mean down at, for the county, for their clay
Yeah.
extraction?
What benefit was there to the town for approving that?
Well, there wasn't any detriment to the town, number one. And
Costs us money for fire protection and inspections.
well, the inspections, perhaps, yes, but its property down there was rezoned commercial several years ago. So what are we gonna say when it's
It wasn't rezoned, it was just put in long-range plan.
correct? And the county expected us to follow our comp plan when they came in to go ahead and request that they be able to remove the clay, which, well, for those of us long timers here, that they knew that they were gonna use the area for clay back when they got it. And with the landfill, I mean, it'd been nice if they didn't have to build a new landfill, but wishful thinking there, but the ability to them to get the new landfill up and running, they're gonna need what they're gonna pull out of there.
So we get no tax money, they keep buying property in the town, taking our tax base, and we give them the clay and a 200,000 square foot building that will provide fire, EMS, police protection for, and we get nothing from them.
Welcome to 2026.
We spent a lot of time talking about this and we voted 5-0. So,
4-0.
or 4-0, yeah,
That's correct.
you weren't here.
That's correct.
Is this something we could push them into some sort of negotiation as far as?
We went through
I
that
think we
also.
asked that already.
We discussed it and said we weren't gonna do that.
How-
We can't change now what we did.
Well, is that,
Right.
that must have been back when you negotiated the landfill? Is that it?
No,
Well, they've owned the land for a long time.
Boy, I understand that.
Yes,
But it had nothing to do with the land. It's-
yeah, but everybody knows what
it's,
the,
you're talking about the ultimate use after,
Correct. I mean, there's gonna be, like Chris said, there's gonna be services that need to be provided, and they are,
to what extent? I
I
mean,
don't know, well,
is it gonna be any worse than what we're already doing at 12 and AB?
I don't think so. I mean, it's gonna be a gravel pole shed.
yeah,
They're not even putting concrete in it. It's gravel pole shed for storage of mowers and then the storage of plow and salt.
oh, they be down there, right?
You know, I mean, that's, and that hasn't proven to be a money good from the expense, I mean, from the standpoint of spending a lot of time there and stuff like that. And the ability for the county to use their land for an approved use, you know, under RI is, you know,
I think it's good that they need us for what they're doing. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a sort of a thing that we have helped them in, hopefully down the way that we can get some exchange on that, in my opinion. So I don't see it as a problem. And we're getting taxes anyway.
true.
No, but we had no expenses either.
Do what?
We had no expenses for farmland.
Rest my case.
Now you put buildings up
You
there,
said the
you're
right
gonna have
thing.
expenses.
No expenses. We have none.
Chris was referring to the fire inspections and so.
Oh, well, you know, we're trying to set up where they're gonna pay us for the fire.
Every 2 years or every year?
Once
Once a year.
Okay.
It was twice, but now it's once annual.
What it's gonna cost in the future.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna,
One fire inspector
Yeah,
go out
right.
there and do his or her thing.
yeah, correct.
Um, So,
Hopefully they won't start a fire.
well, yeah, we'll have their on-site sprinkler system, so
Yeah,
that'll help
yeah.
out. And who knows, with having that kind and the amount of equipment within the township, maybe it'll work out to Dan's advantage by being, hey,
Good. Yeah.
I don't know.
Need to
You never
have it
know.
get plowed first.
So I understand your concern, but I think that, once that the county acquired that land and it went commercial and in the plan and, what's that old saying, that ship has sailed kind of thing, as
Yeah.
far as
Correct.
us being able to do anything about it.
Mhm.
I wish there could be,
Could have said no,
and what purpose would that have served?
because you're still reviewing the comp plan for updates.
And because of where that piece of property is located, there has never been any discussion about changing the use, especially when all other three corners of that whole intersection are all commercial or planned commercial, that we're not going to put any residential there. It's going to be commercial, especially when 100 yards up the road, you've got two big commercial properties.
Yeah.
You unfortunately kind of are stuck in the middle of everything between you and the little yellow house and, which, yeah,
If we didn't do anything, the farmer who leases had the first right of refusal on the purchase of the property, right?
correct. But when was the last time county ever sold any property to an individual, back to an individual? It's
So I'll do it forever.
correct. Thanks for your comments. Mr. Whitty?
Good evening. Those of you that don't know, I'm Dave Whitty, and my family owns land at the intersection of Hope Road and South Hope Road in the town of Patterson. The westerly border of the property is also at Dorothy. There are two components to this project land: a south-facing slope of 30+ acres and over 140 acres of lower land that is in the Wetland Reserve Program. It's not great cropland, but it's totally a beautiful area. We are currently presenting to the Town Plan Commission the concepts of what we think of a rural residential conservation subdivision. There would be about 39 homes, which would include at least 8 homes for 55+ senior living. The organization structure presently is a country condominium basis with private homes, but common ownership of much of the land. We have people telling us that these are really good ideas, which also include making a trailhead for walking the wetland areas, and also those for bicycling on Hope Road, a place to stop and get something to drink. Those of you here at the town meeting, those of you watching at home, those of you that have watched before at the Planning Commission meetings, online or at home, are clearly interested in the future of your township. And we are grateful for that. I'm here tonight to let you know that we really want you to contact me with your thoughts on this project. We have a lot of information to share with you. We've shared a lot of information with the Planning Commission. Any documents that you'd like that we provided to the Planning Commission, we are more than willing to share with you as well. We want your feedback, and we would especially like your input. We wanted to work collaboratively with the town from the beginning, and we feel that we've done a very good job extending our hand to the town, and we want to make sure that members of the town community feel just as involved in this process as well. My cell phone number is 608-843-7854. Again, 608-843-7854. I promise I will respond to every call. If I'm not able to answer, please do leave a message with your name and number, and I will get back to you. Again, we want this to be a project that has the input of all community members within the town of Cottage Grove. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you give me a copy of what you just read?
Send your copy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be
please.
happy.
Anyone else have any comments they wish to make, online, in person? All right. Moving on. Review the July police activity.
I guess since we don't have a deputy here, I can tell you that we did get the ticket books. I don't know for sure. I know at least one parking ticket, was issued on the bike, well, one parking ticket was issued otherwise, and then one was issued on the bike trail, and I know that one has been paid, so they are using them. And then, the building inspector is also using the ticket books to write his building enforcement or property maintenance enforcement tickets, so those are working out good. John Grafton was saying how much quicker and easier it is to write a parking ticket now, so.
Is the Doubting Thomas, not quite so Doubting Thomas anymore, as far as having the ticket books and versus,
Well, they all were in favor of it.
okay.
When did they get them, the books?
Week and a half ago, maybe.
Any questions?
So one ticket was written at the bike.
At least one.
At least one.
Yeah, at least one that I was made aware of.
I've had big people send me pictures of cars parked.
Yeah, well, this was just last week, so.
Ah, okay. Great, thank you.
The car's still parking there, you're saying?
Yes. Car parked right next to the sign that said no parking.
Interesting.
Next item, discuss and consider approval of a parade or race permit for Cruising with a Cause, for a cause, to hold the benefit ATV route to include Baxter Road and possibly Ridge Road on October 24th, 2026.
Because we think the County BB bridge over the Cashman Creek by Baxter Road is gonna be closed. We thought it would be today, but it didn't happen. They did provide two different routes, one that goes down Baxter Road straight to Highway BB and out of town, and then if the bridge is closed, another one that goes out the back way, Ridge Road, or Baxter Road over to Ridge and out to
Connors to Ridge and then come out by Ridge.
Those are both in your packet, but they do have the alternative routes, whether the bridge is open or closed at the time.
And that'll be in the morning that you're there.
Tentatively, I'm here more than 15 days in advance, so I'm trying. Tentatively, we'd be leaving between 10 and 11 and then returning back to double days around 6 p.m. I know last year it was only 5 vehicles. This year, you know, that number got bumped up for the parade in that to 25. We may be over 25. I know last year we were over 25. The Halloween ride is one of our biggest rides, just because everybody's looking forward to having fun and dressing up the kids on that one.
I make a motion to approve it and waive the fee.
Second,
Motion and a second to approve the parade or race permit for Cruising for a Cause on October 24th, 2026, and to waive the fee.
Do you have a preference on which route they take? If the bridge is open, do you want them on BB? Or do you like the other route better either way?
The other route being Ridge Road.
I think Ridge Road I would prefer.
I would prefer the Ridge
Stay
Road.
off of BB.
More sightseeing.
More
Couple
sightseeing.
of-
Yep.
A lot less
Couple
traffic.
of-
Absolutely. The only reason I ran Baxter out to BB was just to get out of the town as quick as possible to make it.
Yeah.
It's the only town that we have to do this for.
Okay.
So is this event's just a fun event? It's not necessarily for any specific.
This one is not, which thankfully we don't have somebody knocking at our door.
Yeah.
But the funds that are raised will go to a local family. And that's if we don't put a name to it before, because I think we still have like 70 days until
Okay.
the event hits.
So that's part of your structure of your program?
Yes.
This is cars, right?
No, four-wheeler ATVs.
ATVs and
Yeah,
UTVs.
not here.
On the back.
All vehicles are welcome. but
Okay,
Right
yeah,
here.
yeah. That's what I thought it was ATVs, but I didn't see anywhere on here that said that.
Look your back page.
Oh, on the back?
Back
Okay,
page.
got it, yeah. Halloween ride.
But having the kitty gives us a chance to find out about something and be able to donate to that person immediately
Sure.
instead of waiting and advertising and doing an event.
I'm glad you put your pictures on there, the two of them.
We gotta wear the mask.
I knew
the
it
rest of
right
the
away.
year.
That's it.
And I have not had the approval from my stops yet, but I will keep it as close to the times as what was said on there. I just wanted to find out the approval before I went and made the route and got all the, business owners excited to have us come through.
Maybe when you do get that nailed down, just give me a final announcement, because we'll post something. That's how we let people know. So once
Absolutely.
you get that all finalized, just send me the final draft of that.
Absolutely. But if we could nail down at least the day, and times may vary, but as soon as I have the approval today, I'll start making my phone calls. I know one of them's not open until Wednesday, but within the week, and I'll have it all nailed down and we can start advertising at that point too.
Have you notified Deer Grove EMS or?
I did, and he didn't have any concerns.
Good. Thank you.
Do you want to add that to the motion to have the Ridge Road route?
Yeah, yes, please.
Second concurs.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Discuss and consider approval of agreement for public improvements and other matters relating to the plat of Kennedy Hills Second Edition.
We do have Attorney Chris Nelson here too. Any questions?
I have one question. Last time we had people in here, they were talking about the mailboxes. Is that figured out for this?
I gotta talk to the postmaster yet, but I think there's gonna be two way in the back probably somewhere.
Okay. And the ones that are there are gonna stay as they are right now?
Yeah, that's where they wanted them, and we put the second one right next to it, that's where we wanted it, so. I don't have to
That's
say
up to
anything,
them.
so, yeah.
How's
So-
Kennedy Road holding up?
So this agreement, does it differ from the first one signed with the first phase? Oh,
It differs only in the sense that it says some specific requirements related to the, public improvements, specifically the streets that'll be on number 2. All those are sort of listed on exhibit 2 to it, which is the last page. So it's more specific. The only real substantial difference between this agreement and the first agreement is the stormwater facilities for this development are going to be publicly owned. The first time they were privately owned, so that's really the only difference between the two.
okay. And then he doesn't really have anything to do with first phase anymore, correct? Now, he never had anything to do with first phase to begin with, but is there anything in here that is making, or where you would have to be responsible for first phase issues?
Nothing in that agreement, no.
Okay, all right, I'm just asking.
There's just one change needed on 467. It's supposed to say city or village. It says city of village. It's line 467 on page 13.
See that?
Is it?
What page you looking at when you say
Page
that?
13.
Page
Page
13.
13?
Under 15,
Look at the line numbers on
Yeah,
the
line
side.
Yeah, I did.
467. Instead of city of village, it'd be city or village. Correct.
that's correct. That's what I believe it should say. You can correct.
Either line there.
We have to read everything, right? Especially when they reflect the everything.
Well, and that's when I really get updated.
Eagle Eye Christie discovered on page 5, under 2.3 curb and gutter.
Gutter.
Yeah. Streets, curb and gutter, and street lighting shall be installed and constructed in accordance with the plans. I think we just,
But the plan doesn't have it. Ours.
Mine doesn't have any, so I think we
Yeah,
can
I
delete
just-
it if you want, but.
I think it would be wise to delete it since some people might have been
Yeah.
expect to see it.
Well,
it's supposed to have curb in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they'll
that whole
expect it.
section you think should go?
No, just
Curb and gutter.
raise curb and gutter in line 130.
Yeah, I
We
thought it
don't
was
do
just,
street, do we do street lighting?
Street lighting is specifically addressed later on.
Line,
Yeah,
line 654 states, the curb and gutter none required by town. On page 8.
it says accordance to plan, so I think it's.
Everybody
Takes it out anyways.
There it is.
These are all the things that plan commission is looking at. and
There's one note I have to write in on here. Note number 11, you know about that? On the.
Oh, on the plat? Yes, I do know about that.
All right.
We're not requiring a specific bike path or walkway. We're going 70 feet. But we requiring it to be marked, and identified,
Yeah, on the wider streets,
yeah,
just one side of it.
right? It'd be wider, but we'll be required to put like a bicycle symbol or anything like that. I don't know.
No, I think it was just gonna be a white line, wasn't it?
I think a white line.
Yeah, just a white line.
Yeah.
And Nick and I looked at the plans, dashes they had through all the intersections. We just said to
Oh.
get rid of all those.
Okay,
Just do the solid white line on the straight stretches.
okay, all right.
I think he was gonna talk. to
There'll be
you.
parking, there'll be parking in that area where the bike path or the bike lane is. There will be, okay.
Pedestrian only.
park across the street. That's on both sides.
No
No,
parking.
just one side.
It's in the township.
Oh, you're talking Kennedy Road.
No, no,
I'm
no.
talking about all of it. There's no parking that deems a hazard in any town road.
Well, okay,
A little different than that.
if there's
Yellow.
people, if there's people walking on one side, you wouldn't want a lot of parking,
Right.
on either side.
Something wrong there. Doesn't make sense.
You can park off the road.
Yeah, you can get in the grass
There's no curbs.
if you so choose to. Nope.
Okay,
Down the road.
Okay.
got it. Mhm.
And this has park space. And the park space is gonna be for the full development that Corey's doing, right?
Yeah, park space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be no additional fees charged.
That's correct.
Okay.
Dan, do you see anything that raised an eyebrow for you at all?
No, I read through it. I had discussed with Nick on all of it. We didn't see anything that, other than what he brought up and stuff, but which was nothing.
Oh, here's a question I had. On, be like page 2, number 13, where it says subdivision signage. Town board design approval required, and then quote, Cottage Grove neighborhood required on sign. Was there any,
I guess I'm not familiar with that part. Guess I didn't see that.
Neighborhood sign, like,
That was on the first thing that made that struck off of it.
I believe it's an ordinance requirement. I believe it's an ordinance requirement for your approvals. If you don't want the sign, you don't need it. But
And Aaron was talking, when we were at budget time last year, weren't you talking about getting new signs too, so they were updated? The subdivision.
The street signs?
I guess I was thinking of park signs and subdivision signs.
Parks Committee hasn't met.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, for parks.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry, no.
And I've always read the sign requirement too, to be if there will be a sign, then design approval is required.
Yeah, I can put one on.
what's that?
I can put one up if it's required, yeah.
I don't think it's required. I think it's just, if you do put one up,
Oh,
it has to go through us and it has to have this language on it.
no.
I
Okay.
don't know that we have to have a sign.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
We just can't put Corey's Corner up there.
Anybody else have anything?
I'd make a motion to approve the agreement for public improvements and other matters relating to plat of Kennedy Hills, second edition, town of Cottage Grove, Dane County, Wisconsin,
With the two changes.
with the changes.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agreement for public improvements and other matters relating to the plat of Kennedy Hills, second edition, town of Cottage Grove, Dane County, Wisconsin.
I'm not, are you gonna fix 2.3 or,
I can fix
I'm not
it.
exactly clear what they want there.
Curb and gutter will be.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Next item, discuss and consider approval of the surety amount for the plat of Kennedy Hills, second edition.
Did you see this, Corey, went online? Did you see it on the,
No, I
link to the
didn't.
agenda?
No, I
So here's what they're looking for. So we still have the full amount of surety for the first edition phase. And that you can reduce that now, but we'll need to keep that at the reduced level for that phase, and then we'll need additional surety for this one.
Okay.
I think we talked about that last fall when they conditionally accepted your improvements and you opted not to reduce it at that time. But that can be reduced now. And if you don't remember what the number is, I'll get that for you.
Okay,
But you'll have to do a new bond or something for this phase.
I think I'll just do a separate one, cause,
Yeah.
I think there was something with reducing the old one.
Well, you'll have to reduce that, or do a new one. You'll need to have two bonds, one for the warranty work, basically on the first edition, and then this new one for the second edition.
Well, there's still a bond in place, but it was something with, I'd almost have to like get a new bond or something.
Okay,
They were explaining it to me, so they just
okay.
left the old one in place.
Yeah, usually
So it's
the,
not like overlapping too.
Mhm.
yeah, usually the bond will make specific reference to the project, and because this one has a separate development agreement, it'll
Yeah.
probably require a new bond.
So the first one does need to get reduced though.
Well, I would think you would want to, so you don't have that much
Exposure.
out there that you're
Well-
guaranteeing.
It's gonna get paved this fall anyways,
Yeah,
so.
but you'll still need to have the amount that Nick gave back then until the warranty is up, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it can go down to 10%.
You don't, do you have that number by chance? I can get it later too.
The letter, it's right here.
That's what it'll need to be for.
So the number that you put on the front is the total without the, what cost, stormwater and erosion? Is that what it is? So what you're asking for, the grading or the street and construction cost, that number is from where?
On the letter, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how the numbers add up.
They don't quite match, do they?
Nope.
This is not my letter. I mean, I would,
That's from the engineer.
yeah, it looks like the amount, the itemized amount would be the correct, so it'd be the total of 230 or 839.
But then there's also on the back as well, the Kennedy Road part. What is that for 946, 626?
I don't see the part on Kennedy Road.
We're back in December, when they conditionally accepted the improvements, the letter from the attorney or the town engineer
There it is.
recommended that the surety could be reduced to 110,000 for the second edition.
110 even?
Yes,
Okay,
I'll send you this letter tomorrow as a
okay.
reminder.
Okay, yeah, so then it looks like it's with the 20% contingency, which is statutory, it's 946, 626.08. I'm not sure why the letter doesn't match.
But it says this amount does not include the amount of stormwater and erosion. So if you took out stormwater and erosion, it's 32. 98. Still doesn't add up. So that was my question. I just don't know where the numbers are from. I mean, we have all the numbers in front of us, but that doesn't equate from anything that I can find.
805?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you gotta add the stormwater and erosion on, right?
Well, Nick's saying, no, we don't.
We don't have to do it?
That's a separate bond.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
separate,
Maybe it's,
Imagining that's
you
been
know what, maybe
removed.
it's a 20%. He's got this 20% on the whole total. So if you take out the 98 for erosion with another 20%, that's 120. Close. 120.
And the county requires their bond for their stuff separately from anything else for
It should be part
stormwater.
of the stormwater management permanent with the county.
So that,
well, it's gonna go to our town attorney to ensure that it's
that
correct.
number.
Correct, he's gonna have to get a hold
That
of
number's this.
So it's
Correct.
either
Nick
805,
Bublitz.
919, or it's 839, 747,
No,
right?
there's Kennedy Road on the back to add to it.
Well,
So that, but
Oh,
the 839 does incorporate,
erosion and.
Yes.
It does. I guess.
unfortunately, Nick had another meeting tonight, so he was not gonna be able to be here.
So the question is, Kennedy Road, is that where all the
I
problem
can
is?
text him,
No, I just can't get any numbers to.
I can text him and see if he's available. I don't know if you want to wait and see if he calls and talk about the covenants in the meantime.
Sure. We'll pause this one. Discuss and consider approval of the plat of Kennedy Hills first edition and the plat of Kennedy Hills second edition, amended and restated declaration of covenants, restrictions, conditions, and easements.
I don't know, Chris, if you want to give them a quick rundown of what this does. Both of the HOAs.
it's a little bit unusual in the sense that, this is phased, and we had a set of covenants for the first edition of Kennedy Hills, which is actually the, second phase of this development, and now there's going to be phase 3, which is Kennedy Hills second edition. So as part of Kennedy Hills first edition, the developer reserved the ability to go back and amend the covenants, so it could be just one homeowners association and one architectural committee and things like that. So both first edition and second edition will be operating together. They're all one unit as far as this is concerned, but there are some differences, mainly with the stormwater management controls. And that's accounted for in these covenants. Town's going to have ownership and the ability to improve approve, charge for those improvements on the second edition stormwater management areas. So it has the specific ability to do so in these covenants. There are private stormwater controls in the first edition, and so that's dealt with by the development. But that's noted in both of here. The tree protections are for individual lots are noted in the covenants related to both the first edition and the second edition. There were some individual lots that were singled out for particular tree protections, but that's really about it. Other than that, the covenants are the same as they were the first time for the first edition, and they really relate to how the neighborhood is going to manage itself going forward.
Is there still a tie here to the first edition lots that drain to the original plat
Yes.
pond, and that the original HOA is still separate? And
Correct.
they can bill first edition
Exactly right.
for homeowners that drain to their pond.
So they can't do second, and just as the town
Yeah.
can't charge first edition homes for improvements for stormwater facilities that they're not using. This is not perhaps the way you designed it from the beginning, but it's where we are.
Yeah.
So the original plat is totally different,
There's three plats. There's
Right.
the original plat, the first edition, and the second
but we're
edition.
talking about the first and second editions, right?
Yeah, the original plat, the HOA owns and is responsible to maintain the pond. But there are some lots in the first edition that drain to that pond, because the first edition is kind of at the crest of the hill. And so the original plat has the right to bill those people for using their pond. And then we'll have the right to bill the people on the backside of the hill that go to this pond in the second edition.
Correct.
Who was responsible for notifying the property owners of the ones in the first edition whose lot's gonna drain into the original pond?
It would,
That could be the developer, the HOA, or,
it'll be recorded on their properties, so that they're gonna have notice of it, when they purchase those lots. And in addition, any title company that reviews the real estate transaction will notify them of that.
But people who have already bought in the first edition probably need to be made aware that this affects them, because they may have already bought that and gone through that process, right?
That would be a responsibility for the developer, not the town.
Okay.
Really, the covenants, we just, review them and make sure that there's anything that unenforceable is taken out. The fact that we have some public facilities that we want the ability to specially charge. But for the most part, this document is how the neighborhood is going to manage itself.
there was or is a homeowner who regularly complained about drainage and the ditch line, as far as, and ditch being wet. And there were concerns raised as to whether or not the lot at that property was actually at grade, properly at grade. Going forward, just using that as, the lead in, the lots that you're going to be selling to those developers or to those real estate builders are gonna be where they're supposed to be when they start. How are you going to ensure that if somebody comes in and decides to sod their whole entire property, that it's not gonna throw everything off when they bring it up this far? And cause things not necessarily to drain like you planned and.
Right. Well, that first phase, we had a diversion all the way along there. And we did it for resop. So that's why no water went down the ditch. There was diversion running east and west. Going ahead here, I'll have to take a look at them when they're done, but as far as like anything around their house or, I mean, the ditches I'll have to look at and see what they did, I guess, but I don't know as far as,
I mean, they're supposed to restore it to ag grade.
cause that's what the
What-
as-built
what's
is
on the
for.
plat
Yeah,
map?
that is what the as-built is for.
All right.
So that's their
Is
responsibility.
it usual and customary then for a landscaper to come in and scrape off 2 inches off the whole area where they're gonna put sod to make sure that it doesn't do that?
That's what they should do.
And then I read also that it's up to the landowner to provide proof that whatever work they did when they put their yard in, that it still meets the as graded on the plat map. Who is responsible for reviewing that information to ensure that everything's straight according to Hoyle, you know?
Well, the way that this reads, I think what you're referring to, it says following construction of a residence on a lot, the then current owner of record shall provide the town building inspector with an as-built grading documents prepared by a qualified professional certifying that it's not
Right.
changed. So the building inspector is gonna need to have that document before he can issue a building permit. And I guess you're trusting that it is a qualified professional that is certifying it. So that nobody here has to certify it, that professional has already said it's true. The only thing I'm wondering is, it says following construction, you're worried more about landscaping.
Well, I'm just saying, okay, according to what you just read, which,
So at occupancy, that's when he would get that. If he was, word occupancy, he would get that then, not pre-built.
You're right, this is occupancy, not
Right,
building.
but
permit. Yeah.
like you said, you get the occupancy and then next year you're gonna do your landscaping. And then it changes and we don't know about it, right?
Yep, a lot of them do. A lot of them change it 2-3 times after they're done.
It also says no earth, rock, gravel, or clay shall be excavated or removed from any lot within the property without the approval of the developer or the committee. So if they're landscaping, they should be talking to the developer or the committee, but it's up to somebody there to be watching that.
But the water shouldn't stay there anyway.
No,
There's something else, there's something else that's a problem
right,
that isn't from that piece of property. That shouldn't sit there, period,
right.
no matter how high it is. That's the bottom line with this.
Yeah, and whenever you see a spot in these new developments that are holding water, it's usually caused by poor landscaping.
Yeah,
After
could be.
After they get their yards done.
And you were reading that off in 3.26?
3.6.
Okay, because 3.26 has the landscaping.
You're not gonna get every design perfect for drainage.
no, but
And,
I just,
and it should be looked at.
but the one resident sent us a 3-page letter or whatever it is.
It was good.
Yeah, but did she
Get
give us,
her act together.
did she give us a letter on her finished?
Right.
Did she give us
I-
plans?
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know.
And I don't know that it was a requirement at that time either. So I just, because she's the one basically that's driving this whole thing. And if there's one out there, there are more lurking in the bushes potentially.
Mhm.
And I just want to have everything in line, so if we get another concern or complaint, whatever you want to call it, that did you do what you're supposed to? All right, if you did our person do what he or she was supposed to? And then, so we've just got, we know where the buck stops.
So if we had a procedure that, just this woman as an example, if you want us to go any further with it, you need to show us that you've met, your
Well,
own lot has met or stayed this way it was supposed to.
A person,
Right, yeah,
okay,
that person would do that.
would have to do that anyway, regardless, preemptively. When they're done, they have to know.
Right, but after they do the landscaping, we don't get anything.
No, but you would though,
What's that you mean?
Or the HOA.
that everything's everything's at grade where it's supposed to be.
Well, yeah, if that's part of the permit process for them to get their occupancy, if they gotta do their own as-built when they're done, You know what I mean? Have something to prove it. I mean,
Correct, we're
that's
gonna
on
have to
them.
hire somebody,
Right.
or hire you and you.
No.
That's about the only point, Chris can correct me if I'm wrong, that the town is involved. After that, it's the HOA who's watching that stuff. The town is looking at it at occupancy to make sure that they didn't change the as-built when they constructed the house, developed the lot for the house. After that, the town is really not in that. It's the HOA or the developer that's supposed to be watching that.
Yeah,
Except for what happens when if they were to come, say there's an issue, okay? We got water that's ponding, all right? They're gonna come to us, they're not gonna go to the HOA, they're not gonna go to the developer, they're gonna come to us because it's in the right of way.
But then they don't know the rules, period. Who to go to?
So I don't know what the enforcement methods are. Is that what you're asking?
They make a complaint to their HOA. Their HOA is supposed to do something about it. And all of these things are private contracts between all the homeowners. So if somebody does something that's contrary to any of these covenants, let's say they change the minimum elevation that they're required to have, any one of them can sue that person.
Yeah, my main thing is I just wanna be out of it.
Well,
You know,
you will be out of it.
Well-
This is not going to be a town concern.
3.27 reads that falls underneath the landscaping requirements. If I'm reading this right, the developer, after a period of 10 years, so from the start up to 10 years, it sounds like the developer is responsible for the site plans and managing whether, the elevation. And then after that.
Well,
gonna
it's
fall
10
into
years
this.
or after the developer basically doesn't have title to any more lots.
after declaration,
He'll turn it over well before 10 years.
yeah.
Okay, so you'll be out, but it's gonna get turned over to an HOA, so that'd be the committee.
Mhm.
That follows the committee. Okay.
Have the residents developed this HOA? Do they have? Have they volunteered? to
Yeah, the original,
The original owners?
they have an HOA, yeah.
The original plat does. I don't know about the first edition yet. There's
No.
only, what, 2 houses
Yeah,
built?
that's pretty much me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
part of this is, you've retained it in order to do the second edition. So this isn't really gonna be set up until he's a little farther along in the second, yeah.
So
Is
for
2
now,
and 3
you're at.
Yeah, I'm at,
Still.
I
2 and 3 gonna have a single HOA or 2 HOAs?
think it's gonna have two.
This
Three.
makes,
One,
this makes it a
One for
single
the-
HOA
Okay.
for 2 and 3.
but the other development,
This is
Right, they
first.
have their own,
Yeah.
correct, yeah.
Okay.
Will you be monitoring or, going back to 3.27, are you gonna be reviewing all the site plans until the end, the last house is built? or-
Probably have to, I mean, I'll get the house plans, but nobody sends a
Grading for
grading plan or
No.
nothing ever. The elevations are on it, so it's pretty much gotta follow the as-built when I'm done with the ditches, but the problem I see up in Arlington, it's on the lot line. People change the lot line elevations and then it doesn't drain where it's
Right.
supposed to.
So will you require a grading plan or not?
Probably should, I guess. I don't know. I don't think anybody ever has before.
No, but you could. I mean,
You
that's one
could,
of the
yeah.
things that would set it on the right path, is the
Yeah.
grading plan, and then
Right.
they'd have to specify whether they're gonna put in sod or if they're gonna put in,
Right,
grass with
right,
mesh. Or just seed with mesh.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
after that, you're done.
Right.
You set it.
Yeah, it should match the as-built when I'm done.
I mean, you'd have to do something pretty severe to make a big change in that, wouldn't you?
People are messing with it all the time.
Yeah.
They're always adding retaining walls and this and that, and then they store all their stuff in the ditch. And then they dig all that out and then they forget to fill, and it's a lot of, mess out there.
But at least, once it's done, and you can say, it's been set to grade, and anybody changes, it's on them.
Yep.
And then if anybody in the neighborhood gets upset, And you can go back to that person, you don't have to go to the town and say what happened here. We
Yeah, I
talked
believe-
about it in the beginning.
I believe that's why we're asking for it now, right? That's why it's in this one.
Yeah,
I don't think that was ever in one
That-
before.
that as-built paragraph, something like that is in the original plat document covenants, but I don't think it was in the first edition one. And now it will be effective on them too, because this will cover first and second edition. But that is, at that point, once occupancy is, then it's all on the HOA to enforce.
All right.
So it's on them for erosion and everything too then.
Should be.
Yeah, once everything's dedicated.
You start digging, you're gonna change your erosion.
Yeah.
Something will change.
I mean, they'll still be subject to county erosion permits and all that
Right.
stuff, just like everybody else.
Right.
Which is pretty small. Like if you're doing your whole yard, you're gonna end up being
Yeah.
county permit,
Yeah.
particularly with these lots.
Anything else?
So it's only problem is a problem. right?
Mhm.
Obligations is.
You know, I just-
I understand completely.
Expect the unexpected.
Well, setting it up, and then after it gets in the homeowner's hands, you're kind of taking care of problems that are gonna be coming up before they come up.
Hopefully.
So we're, I mean, the way we're reading
Have
it
something
is
to back
that
you up.
if something comes up, we're out of it.
You can very accurately can say consult your HOA.
Okay. I think that's appropriate.
Is there something in here that says if the HOA doesn't do their job, the town can step in and do anything?
It says that with, well, I mean, we have control over stormwater management. We have the ability to go in. I believe if it's not done, we have the ability to go in on the stormwater facilities and on the first edition and do something on that if they're done. But generally speaking, no,
Okay.
you know, we're not going in and correcting anything. If there's a problem, they're gonna have to work it out amongst themselves. We do retain easement rights, so if there's anything, you know, in a utility easement or road easement or anything like that, absolutely.
How does the HOA or penalize anybody?
They do have the ability to assess. So they do have the ability to assess.
So they could order the work done and assess it on the person that caused it.
Theoretically, yes.
Okay.
Then that comes to us.
Nope.
How do you assess that?
I really don't know.
Well, that's
They
a
can
problem.
bill, they
Yeah,
they
can
can bill
bill.
for it.
Yeah.
You'd get it, there'd be a bill.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
okay.
assess might be a loose term on that.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to run the HOA, I'll tell you that. They committed to this, correct? I mean, that's,
They will.
or they will commit to it,
Yep.
and that's the way it is. So I got no problem with it.
Everyone,
Shall it be written, so shall it be done.
So shall it be. King and I. Yeah.
Any,
What he explained, I'm making a motion that they do this. Accept it,
Second.
presented. The amended and restated declaration of covenants, restrictions, and conditions and easements for Kennedy Hills first edition and second edition.
motion by Mr. Buckles. Did you second that, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second by Fonger. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
We did not hear anything back from Nick, so I'm not sure what you want to do about that surety, if you want to just iron the amount out.
I would say that it says it goes to our town lawyer that he take and get with Buckles or whatever his name is, Kublitz, and decide what the actual amount is.
Let's get clarification.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I'd
sorry,
make
I
that-
just don't see how everything adds up. That's
I
all.
make that motion to come up with the exact bill.
So your motion is to forward this to our.
To the town
town.
lawyer to get with the project engineer and come up with what the actual fee is.
I'll second that.
Before, just as a discussion, do we just want to wait and hear, if we hear back from him with an explanation that makes sense to us before we spend money on it?
Yeah, you can wait till the end of the meeting here. I know he's in another meeting, and I don't know how long it's gonna go, that's why he couldn't be here.
Should we table it till the end of the meeting?
Yeah, and then we can just see if we do get a call back.
Yeah.
And then if not, I think then we do your motion.
Sure.
So is your motion now temporarily table, or we just, no, we're not gonna
Just
do
hold
that.
it.
We'll just skip
Just table it and-
Hold it for now.
We'll just skip it.
Right here.
All right, discuss and consider approval of agreement between County Cottage Grove and Newman Developments LLC regarding monitoring and repair of the portion of Meyer Road remaining in the town of Kent.
Comments from Steve McQueen from Newman. I believe he's right, those two things were not discussed by the board when they were online with us.
I think what we discussed is that it needs to be back in the commission, at least the commission was before they started.
Right, and that they are gonna look at it annually,
Right.
and that's all in there.
Yeah, and we never talked about it for the bond or anything like it. Yeah. Because we.
Did everybody see the email from Mr.
Yes.
DeClean? DeCleaning?
For the paragraph 4 and 6.
I mean, I can see the point, if he's been preparing this on their website, and all of a sudden we say, well, now tear up all the good road, and that's basically what we're asking to do. Redo it at the end, regardless.
You didn't see that email, he wants to get, you got the agreement, right?
Yeah.
He wants to
4 and 6.
take out 4 and 6. He
Who
doesn't wanna
does
have
Newman
to
does?
do
Yes.
He doesn't want to have to do a final overlay, and he doesn't want to have to put down a bond, basically.
4 and 6.
Yeah, unless conditions warrant it, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
get to the end of it and it still looks like junk, he's gonna be doing it,
but the way we have it written is upon completion.
he's gonna do it regardless. Yeah, I don't know, that's asking a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if he just did it the year before and they really didn't have much
Hey, that's what I'm saying,
construction at the end.
because we're doing it annually and we're having them keep the roads.
Yeah.
We're not waiting till the end to fix it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read through this, I didn't see an email though, but yeah, that makes sense, that you want that removed. It's kind of redundant, like if we're making him fix it
As we go.
annually, we get that last year, he's gonna fix whatever's damaged again anyway.
And then we do have the failure to repair and revive to go back.
Yeah. After mowing that road again today though, like, those ditches are steep. I forget how steep those are. Every time I get out there mowing, I'm like, oh, they're gonna add 2 feet to the gravel. I don't know how they're gonna do that. They're gonna use a lot of gravel.
I don't know what the security arrangement, I mean, I guess we never talked about it.
I don't think they're going anywhere.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure, but I don't know, I mean,
It's your road.
I've had some personal dealings with them, and I've been as impressed as I could be. I mean, they've been good to deal with. I feel like I think they're a decent developer.
That's good to hear.
That is good here. Even though it's not hard.
So we should change these 2 items or what?
Strike them.
Strike them? Is that what we're here to talk about?
Well, you're here to approve this, but
Yeah.
he requested the rows to be stricken.
So everything else is good?
You know, when he was here, or, I repeated what he had said, that, yeah, they would make sure,
Right.
and he said yes.
Yep.
And that's what he's saying here is, we're not going anyplace, I don't intend to. This contract is binding and can be relied upon. I would move approval with the, removing paragraph 4 and 6.
Second. 4 and 6, yeah.
4 and 6.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agreement with Newman Builders, striking paragraph 4 and paragraph 6. No discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Did Nick ever get back to you when I was gone? No? So did that ever all get set up? Or we still don't know. Okay, I'll call him tomorrow.
Nick said he's gonna try to jump on in 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to figure out the landfill.
Whatever Steve says, I'm good with on this one.
Well.
B,
We need the landfill met every other month, right?
correct, for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then there's something they want to, at least quarterly, they moved to call quarterly and put in annually.
Well, the agreement said at least quarterly prior.
Yeah, that's the original language, but it was every other month.
Okay,
They just did it at least quarterly, but they did it every month.
okay, now I understand.
and it was in conjunction with the fire meeting.
Yeah.
And the people on both committees. Sometime this year, there was an alternate from the village who raised a concern, as I understand it, with the village president.
Correct.
About coming for a 10-minute meeting. And which is the exception to the whole rule because the people who are on the landfill committee are also on fire, which meets immediately after. So you're here for one, you don't even have to get up out of your chair and the next one will start.
If the appointments are made smart.
What's that?
If your appointments are made smart.
I mean, I'm on the committee, I'm not on fire and never will be. I still don't have a problem with it, so.
I
I mean,
did,
that's part of being.
It's just,
the way that currently reads, the committee is supposed to report to the boards quarterly, but now annually, and then the agreement does also say they were supposed to meet every 2 months and they're proposing to change that to annually too. That's on the back page. So the agreement did say they were meeting every 2 months because that's what the agreement says. They really only had to report to the boards quarterly. But they're saying to do it both annually. Doesn't mean you can't call a meeting when you need one.
correct.
You have any objection to a quarterly?
I guess, can I answer your
Yeah.
question down in a couple minutes?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna step up on a soapbox for a minute. It's the case of the village deciding that they know what's best for the town. They totally 100%, they wanted to go ahead and take it away from the township, give it to their public works director.
In the town,
Huh?
in the
In the
town.
village.
No, it's in the town.
Oh,
And we
correct.
give
It is in
the
the
public.
town. Our
You gotta be kidding me.
You know, we've had it since its inception. The village didn't want anything to do with it. When it came time to spend money on it, because, well, it wasn't ours. Now all of a sudden they want to, idea of taking it over. And my thing is, it's just an attempt by the village to try and take as much away from the township as they possibly can to be I don't know why, okay? But I guess that the whole thing boils down to the fact is why the village thinks that they can just, without any discussion, decide that we're gonna take it over. Well, after I raised a stink with her, she said, well, okay, we'll do this annual meeting, which was the last, when we back up a second, at the last landfill meeting, I did not make it to the meeting due to a case of 3 freshly potted plants and 2 baby kittens coming home to this massive mess at my house that, anyway, so I missed the 10-minute meeting. During that time, everybody on the, that was there for the meeting decided that they were gonna meet in June, middle of the year. However, once a year, annual meeting. But because, and this is, people were inexperienced and not fully vested in the history of the landfill, they didn't take into account that we have to have a meeting every September to get our annual results from Strand, plus set the budget. Oh, yeah, after I raised that question. So now, this is sitting where it's at. You know, the latest proposal from the village as far as this is how they're gonna change the landfill agreement. Not by any go-ahead from me or from our board or anything. They just unilaterally decided that we're gonna change it. And here's what we're gonna give you. And, you know, I quite frankly, my initial knee-jerk reaction is to say, why change it all? If it's not broke, let's not try and fix it.
What do they pay?
They pay 50% of all of the expenses that occur within the landfill.
If there's a
proper.
problem or inspection or,
Well, the landfill bill, there's a town-only part and a village,
Correct.
a shared part, and they pay 50% of the shared part.
What is the town-only part?
Steve maybe knows. I don't see the
There
actual
are
services, just.
Several monitoring wells on the residential side of Nat Big Road, because several years ago, we had a detection
I
that
remember, yeah.
went under the road. So everything that is monitored on the residential side of Nat Big is wholly town expense.
It's like three wells or something like that, isn't it? Maybe
Yeah. 3 or 4.
Four, yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
4 actually now, yeah.
So the budget this year is 27.5, and we just kind of, I think we usually estimate that their portion ends up being around 42% or something, if I remember right, but their budget amount for this year is $15,675. Ours is $11,825. And through June, they've paid $63.80, and we've paid $48.83. That's in their financials that are on your table tonight. I don't have this, this is supposed to be through July, but the Strand bill wasn't here yet, as I noted on the bottom, so that's really only through June. But anyway, so their cost is, you know, that's what it is. It's expected to be on a yearly basis.
So we have a choice. Either we agree just to let sleeping dogs lie. We agreed to quarterly meetings. You know, I'm kind of going to defer to the board here. You know, I really have issues with the village unilaterally trying to change agreements without discussing it first. And we've got a similar instance coming up further on down the agenda.
So this item that's on our agenda, am I correct in assuming it came from the village?
The amendment,
What's that?
which one are you talking about, the
This
amendment?
amendment, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is
Amendment.
a meeting that I attended. I attended this
You were
meeting.
at, oh, okay.
I was the only one from the town. who was there.
yeah, I'm not on that committee.
No, it was me. It was me.
Yeah.
And I had got the impression after we had discussed things that we were okay doing that. So I didn't put up any opposition to it.
We
That
were
was me.
okay doing
We were okay doing annual,
annual,
Yeah.
okay.
so I didn't have any opposition to it. So that's on me.
No, I just, that's
Well,
fine.
it's still, you know, we probably should have held it and did it another time when you were there as well. I don't have a problem, I guess, in my opinion, because we did discuss it. And obviously we didn't know about the September thing because you weren't there. There's three of us that were in the meeting that didn't really know what was going on. I guess I'm speaking for myself, but I agree with what you're saying, with the village, and, you know, the town has its responsibilities, the village has theirs, and we should work together on things that we have to. But neither one of us has more than a 50-50 shot or a 50-50 opinion on any of this, so we have to agree. I think a quarterly would be okay. I'm fine doing it every 2 months.
So do we pay more because we were a higher population at the time, the first?
No, it was,
Because we were, I mean,
Isn't it what you said? They pay 50% of the joint portion, but there's some wells or
That
whatever
are
you
on the
said
other side of that.
on the other side of the road that are not anything to do with the village.
right,
Yeah, they're not
So
part of the
that's why
town.
we pay more. 'cause
oh,
we pay-
okay,
We pay for those and then we pay 50% of everything else, and so do they.
anything within the landfill proper is split 50-50.
yeah, and that's because they were 50, or maybe even more of the garbage.
There you go. When Jeff Smith found barrels
Mhm.
of Lord knows what that said North Central Chemical on them, it kind of, seriously. Yeah, that would,
Well, they buried him a couple places.
so is that, and that kind of, because we were in the midst of a pretty good legal dispute where the village didn't want to take any ownership and, yeah. And the village is quick, or their attorney was quick to say that this was a mutual agreement. Well, it was a mutual agreement because of the village would have, if they had chosen to continue to fight it, and the judge, I'm sure, would have found in our favor wholly so they decided to settle, basically what it was.
Stipulation agreement, stipulation order. Is the
Yeah.
result of a stipulation order.
So, what is your pleasure?
Are the meetings needed?
Yes, I mean,
How about
Do we need
one
such a
every
meeting
6
for-
months? Rather than one a year, go with 2 a year.
Or somebody said, meeting annually or when necessary, because
Because you have test results, like there's tests in July, there's tests in July, what, I don't know what other months they, there's, so I guess,
They do it every spring.
if you're,
Yeah,
if
just-
you're.
And
I
December.
think it's quarterly testing right
I
now.
think it is, yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if your tests come up with something, obviously you call a meeting. Otherwise, I don't know if you really do need to meet more than once a year because you're approving bills after they're paid. I mean, I'm not holding these bills and seeing if the committee approves them, especially when you're meeting only every other month.
That's fine, I mean, I'm just,
annually or when necessary based on test
Need.
results or need/test results. Because there could be other needs that
So, I
Dan
mean,
could see or,
It says shall meet at least annually, so you could call a meeting, at least means at least.
Just like when you guys had to meet for adding the extra events, you guys had to call a special meeting for that because the test results showed. So that would be one to schedule a meeting for.
If you're gonna meet once a year, just meet once a year, you're gonna be appointing a chair and a secretary every time you meet, It's supposed to alternate, it never does. It's supposed to alternate between the town and the
Well,
village.
maybe it should get rid of the do it that way, but won't be any alternating anymore. It'll be the chairman is from the town.
I don't know if that gets into opening the agreement up too deep, though.
I don't know, I have no clue.
I don't either, I mean, there isn't.
Well, it does
I,
say.
the
It
thing
says you
is,
can amend
there's.
the agreement once a year, so you should be able to do that. Would it be any different than what they're trying to change? So I think you could do that.
I just know that Steve has been the chair for as long as I can remember. They never opt to elect anybody else.
Unfortunately, the village members don't stay long enough to.
Just so you know, Nick is online, by the way. Nick is
Oh.
online.
Oh,
So
Oh,
as soon as
Oh,
you
let's let
guys-
him answer that question. I guess.
So let's. Is there a motion for the landfill quickly?
I would say, I'd like to see, in my opinion, 4 times a year on a quarterly. That's my thought.
Is that a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion 4 times a year.
So both of those things now that say at least annually would say at least quarterly.
Yes.
can I clarify that those quarterly meetings would be after getting test results? So that you would have
Yes.
something to discuss besides paying bills?
Yes. Yep. Add to the motion, please, that the meetings will be held upon
Quarterly in conjunction with the receipt of
the
test
test
results.
results. Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that then.
Second by Christie. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Let's go back up to number D, talk to Nick.
He's gone.
Good evening.
There he is.
So you probably need to tell them what your questions are.
Oh, is he there? Is he there? Nick?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
My
I
question-
assume I know your question is that the attachments don't match the dollar figures.
Right, exactly, that's it, exactly.
So it says in the first paragraph, erosion control and stormwater is not included because Dane County does that.
Correct.
So I subtracted those dollar amounts out. So
I still couldn't come up with it.
did I fat finger something incorrectly then?
I'm looking, so you took out stormwater restoration, yes or no?
I took out stormwater restoration and erosion control. And then if you
And storm sewer as well?
go further down, there's another erosion control as well that I took out for the Kennedy's portion, Kennedy Road portion.
So storm sewer comes out?
Nope, I kept storm sewer on there. Storm
Okay.
sewer, I kept that on there because, trying to pull up now. Storm sewer was kept on there because there's pipes throughout the project. That was a little bit of hodgepodge, I guess, because some of it's associated with the stormwater ponds, but I didn't go line item for line item, so I just kept all of stormwater part of this surety.
Okay. I couldn't get numbers, but I'm gonna try again.
And while he's doing that, Nick, your surety recommendation to hold for the first edition is still 110,000?
Yep, that's plenty needed to take care of that for those remaining, final asphalt and other miscellaneous items. That is plenty. I feel comfortable with that 110.
I don't know, I'm just coming up like $3,000 off, but I don't know why.
You're coming $3,000 different.
Yeah, a couple grand off, but it could be my math.
Higher or lower?
I'm coming up higher. That's taking off stormwater restoration, erosion control, and erosion control. Am I missing something?
Uh,
No?
stormwater restoration for 3,200 is taken off. Erosion control for roughly 98,600 and some change.
There we go.
Kept the rest.
Got it, it's good.
Okay,
Now we got it. That was my question.
all right.
So these amounts are corrected.
Yep, everything just peachy.
So 805, 913 for 919.33.
We don't need you anymore.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna,
Yeah,
thank
right.
you. Everyone have a good night.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, good night.
I don't know. all these stormwater,
So
restaurant.
just coming back on motion to approve the Kenny Hills Phase 3 letter of credit surety amount recommendation
Second.
to go to our lawyer.
To approve the form.
Yeah.
Motion and a second to approve the letter of credit surety amount recommendation and to send it off. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same size, motion carried.
Has anybody got to sign this? The plat?
Not yet.
No.
Gotta think. No, I can't sign that until I have a letter of credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the roads, or, what was it?
Well, we'll have to get you, he's gonna fix, or I will, the couple of things that were changed in the developer's agreement, then we'll need to sign and notarize all that.
Okay.
And once all the documents are signed and everything,
Yep.
surety is in place and everything like that, then I can sign.
Okay. So you need the surety from me.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure out the form and make sure the attorney approves, so you can have your attorney work with ours on that if you want, or send it through me,
Okay, yeah, I can talk to them tomorrow.
okay?
All right,
One going across the road?
I already went, yeah, I already put it in.
Oh,
So you just gotta remove the end wall. We left it unattached.
okay. I'm waiting
Alright.
for,
good to go now? Okay, cool. All right, next item, discuss and consider changes to the PAA fire/EMS study scope and joint meeting schedule. We have correspondence from the village.
I have a question. Who are who's the stakeholder group? Who's all in that? You, Cindy, chiefs? Which, she's referring to the stakeholder group.
And the village administrator.
And that group thought this would be the way to do it. Just a question.
Well, they're trying to
The
say.
village president thought.
Well, she's trying to say that the company.
It says the stakeholder group.
She wanted to know, they wanted to know that maybe the stakeholder group should be changing or something. That's the way I took it.
No, what I'm saying is that it says, given this stuff, our stakeholder group thought this approach would allow board members to have a formal discussion.
Oh, that's them, that's the village.
Oh, for the
But it says stakeholder
914,
Well, that's
for
just the
the-
village, that's all.
for the 914 meeting you're talking about,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, but the stakeholder group is not the village. The stakeholder group is Steve, the
Cindy.
chiefs.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's writing for the board.
That's not.
I doubt if she's even writing for the board.
That's not.
I'm sure Deezy wrote this.
I would say no.
Huh?
I would say no, she wrote this.
Our paper. So anyway, the 914 meeting, we've all known about.
I can see.
Excuse me. Okay. And the,
We'll talk.
all right, thanks.
after having the meeting on the 6th with the PAA folks, when they showed us the revamped copy of the study, the question came up by Cindy saying that she wanted the governance issue between fire and EMS brought back in, even though we as board says, no, we did not want that. So Cindy took it upon herself to get a quote from PAA for the governance portion of it. And I don't have those numbers in front of me. And
It would be.
Isn't it
Yeah, it's on here.
It's
$9,000 for
Yeah.
us.
It's what it was in the original.
Correct. But the question that wasn't asked, but should be asked, why can't we use the same information from the last study as far as governance? Why do we have to pay them to glean out that information from the original study
Same
and
company.
put it in the same people?
Yeah.
So, it should be a freebie, if you will, for them to provide us with the information out of the original study and give it to us.
Mhm.
I'm not inclined to recommend that we spend any town money for the governance,
Yeah.
to have them do the
We
governance.
already got it.
Yeah, they're gonna do it anyways, it appears. Whether
We did it
we
4 years ago.
participate or not, but.
We did it 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
right, no, I mean, this whole thing, the PAA actually said, please don't choose us, get somebody else, so you get another set of eyes on it.
Do
I mean,
does anybody but me have a problem with this stakeholder group reviewing everything
yes,
before it goes to the
that's
boards?
that's why I was asking the stakeholder group. I mean, if you don't see something that you want us to see, you take it out?
Yeah.
Or, is it being steered
I
one
mean,
way?
it's
It
being
was-
presented that they don't want to waste your time to something that is not complete and presentable to the boards, but my concern would be, and I mean, I would be concerned if I was participating, which I did go to one of them, I didn't go to the last one. I would be concerned that I might influence somehow and I shouldn't,
Right.
How many write-ups has PAA done now?
No, I think they all, I mean,
They did
at the
two, right?
14th, they didn't really have a new draft,
Oh, they
right? They
didn't?
just discussed what was brought to their attention from the first draft, right? They didn't actually have another draft. But anyway, that group has met, that stakeholder group met between themselves, went all through this, sent a commented version back to PAA, and then they met with PAA and discussed it. And that's all happening before it ever gets to the boards.
Correct. And remember when the first version came out?
We all got it, right?
Well, yes, you did, okay.
That's what I thought, yeah.
But
But that's probably only because we forwarded it.
because of the fact, no. The only reason why it got shared with the village trustees was because of the fact I chose, with discussions with Kim, that I felt it necessary to share it with the rest of the board. I didn't want to, there's no reason for me to hang on to it and not have anybody else look at it right away. So that's why I went ahead and did it, and because I did it here, word got out that how come the village has got it, or excuse me, the town has it? Well, then boom, Cindy didn't have any choice but to release it to the village. So, the other thing that came up was the fact of the, what's the gentleman's name that in your email?
Franz,
Huh?
Franz,
Franz?
Tim
Franz?
Franz.
Huh?
Tim Franz or Tim
Yeah.
Franz?
Yes. Cindy took it, that's the way I'm interpreting it, correct me if I'm wrong, asked that Mr. Franz looked at consolidation now all of a sudden of the chiefs. There, and she actually had gone out, requested a cost for that service, and basically sent me an email saying, the village is gonna pay this much, your town's portion is gonna be this much. All right. Number one, we've never here, to the best of my knowledge, have talked ever about consolidating the chiefs for fire and EMS. Seriously. And so, that's high on Cindy's priority list, is to consolidate. And
Why? The chief doesn't even get paid.
Because it
I-
works.
It
The way
works
we
and
got
the
it
chief
now.
does, and the chief doesn't get paid.
Well, that would change because you'd hire a big buck, full-time
To oversee
fire
both.
chief. No, you'd hire a fire chief and as I understand it, Eric would become subordinate to the new fire chief then.
I see.
And then,
So what would that fire chief or that head between the fire and the EMS, what would they do differently than what's being done now, other than the same?
Well, they
You
think
do
it's
this
gonna,
and-
they think
it
it's
would
gonna
be,
get bigger
number
and
one,
bigger.
it would be a village
To be an
employee,
employee, that's the thing. It's an
an
employee.
employee to have control.
Right.
All right.
Wait,
Know what to do.
what did you just say?
They want a fire chief.
It would be a village employee?
Yes.
Over the joint
Yeah.
town and village and Pleasant Springs
Fire
Fire
department.
Department and EMS.
It can't be over EMS, because they're Deer Grove.
Yeah.
No. Wow. Yes, I
Whoa.
mean,
That's a whole new,
this was, this was,
Because the
a
dog.
late addition without any real, and,
hmm,
so, number one, I am not going to ask, and it doesn't, I'm not gonna pay anything to have Mr. Franz, listen to his, well, we're gonna have to listen to his presentation, but I'm not gonna contribute any, especially when we haven't discussed it. I haven't
this isn't
I haven't
discussed.
been- nobody's put documents in front of me or us, I should say more appropriately, saying, we gotta have this. We gotta have a full-time chief to be over EMS. I mean, there's been discussions about a full-time chief coming up. That's public knowledge.
Right.
But to go ahead and have that chief over everything,
So that chief would be over Nick Archibald and Eric
Chief
Lane.
Archibald
Nick
would
would
be
be
nothing
gone.
anymore.
Chief Archibald would be gone.
Well,
Well,
Well, if he
He
get
wouldn't
hired for
be-
the
He
job,
would not be the fire chief.
well, unless they hired him for that job.
yeah, he could be hired for the job, but
I
Yeah.
don't foresee that happening.
And I don't know, how could anybody that'd be like the Deer Grove Fire Chief overseeing Eric. That wouldn't happen because he also works for us. I don't know how you could do, I mean,
That's opening a
Well, that's what
whole,
isn't that what she's hoping to have?
or does she just want to have her own EMS?
I think she's hoping they'll tell her how that'll work. How would
Yeah.
that work? How would you consolidate that?
then we'd probably be contracting with them for our
right, it
service.
would,
So,
No,
so,
Most of the
that's what this is about.
Most of the volunteers are in the town anyway.
Yeah,
Keep your fire department.
so, I mean, you're supposed to discuss and consider changes to the study scope and meeting schedule. So the changes that you've been hearing about for the study scope are what's in that memo
Right.
about
Doing the governance.
governance mainly. And then, but then also behind the scenes, this whole consolidated chief thing.
Assess current service agreements and contracts, that was already done. The same contract has been around, right?
Well, they did change it a couple of years ago after the last one,
After
but,
the last study.
yeah, slightly.
And a new model for calculating partners' costs,
of course.
of course.
of course. And I don't understand this part. We thought it would be helpful to get a shared understanding of the history, challenges, and work that has led to the current study.
They don't really have,
I
there's
did-
nobody there that
I
has the
read the
history.
old PAA. I watched some of the meetings because I wanted to know what was going on. I would assume that the two new members at that would have done the same thing. I mean, you're gonna pay this to tell the three of us, basically. I think we already know. And
There had, in the governmental, the questionnaire that we all filled out, back when the PDA study,
Long time ago.
no, this last one before the study here, was it last year sometime?
2023 was this study?
No,
you
had
guys
that
had one right
questionnaire.
before. You had
We
one
had this
right before.
questionnaire.
For this study? that
Yeah,
was
for
it.
this study.
Okay, earlier this year.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Thank you. As I understand it, there were elected officials who didn't have confidence in the fire department because of the amount of calls and the false alarms, feeling that it was, the way I equated it, this is my opinion, that these are new village trustees who'd had no history of the fire department, no working knowledge, or a very minor working knowledge of the fire department, and basing it off of comments that Nick had made that before all these false alarm ordinances came into effect to help with all this, that the chief would say, hey, you know, we've had this many false alarms at these apartment buildings over and over and over again. You know, we have firefighters that are getting upset with this, coming down, ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Well, the persons, as I understand it, took that to mean that the fire department wasn't able to,
Get enough people,
huh?
get enough people to come show up.
Well, that and to deal with this stuff, you know, that, and so.
Which was not the case.
No,
It was
it's
trying,
not.
it was trying to get people to be responsible.
Right.
Correct. He's just saying that, hey, you know, and that's why we did what we did, you know, with the false alarm stuff, although it wasn't quite to the extent of the village, but it was something that got rectified. But it just, you know, there's comments out there, there are impressions. I don't know if they're still current yet, but there are people who, I think, don't feel the same way that we do about our fire department.
Mhm.
And, but, you know, to go ahead and start
This is,
working toward a unified department when the EMS chief has said that he has paramedics that don't want to become firefighters. Firefighters have stated they don't want to become paramedics, or, you know, I mean, there's, yeah, it's just not presto chango, boing, it's, you know, gonna happen kind of thing.
see, this is the first I'm hearing that you're saying that the village wants to hire a fire chief that would be over.
That's what this Mr. Franz is about, consolidation, fire and
I didn't
EMS.
get that out of this.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't read it well enough. I should reread it.
Consolidation,
I-
fire and EMS.
I'd like to know who the stakeholders are.
That's what I asked.
No, it
I
was.
know what you
Yeah,
asked, but
yeah.
I'd like to see it in writing.
Right,
These are the
right.
It's not a defined group, it's a handpicked group of staff and elected officials that were chosen to preview this thing before it goes to the board. There's no, I mean, I don't know how you can call them stakeholders, but I guess that's what that's referring to, right?
Right.
Yep.
That's who's met.
Yes, that I recommend
That's
that the
sketchy.
village board approves. That means they haven't even approved this thing yet.
No, so she's recommending that the village board approve the addition of governance to the fire EMS study and authorize PA to complete the work. And if the town is also considering the request and doesn't approve it, she still recommends the village board proceed with
There
it
you
in
go.
full. So you have to decide if you're gonna approve of it, so you pay your share or not. And then, approve an additional hourly rate for joint meeting presentation, so that must be the Tim Franz.
That $800 or something for Mr. Franz.
So you have to decide if you're willing to pay anything for him to tell you that, and then say what dates, other dates you want to meet. That's all you have to talk, all you have to decide.
Well, the governance study, if it's already been declined for good reason.
What's that?
The governance or the governance part of the study was declined by both boards, correct?
Yep, back at the beginning.
But once they got the study and it didn't say what they wanted, is that why they want the governance now?
No, that's why Cindy asked to have the governance.
But why? If you guys didn't need it in the first place, why is it all of a sudden necessary? Because the
No, no,
information wasn't correct?
This is one person asking for it.
Oh,
This is one person asking for it.
okay.
The EMS chief didn't want it. I didn't want it. The fire chief and Nick and April did not want it. Okay, we were just kind of, and again, if there's governance stuff, why isn't it being taken out of the previous study? Nothing has changed.
Exactly, same chief, same thing. As the stakeholders have met and reviewed the draft study, it has become clear that significant questions and gaps will remain if governance is not addressed.
It seems to me
Her
like if
words.
there's
That
a
is her words.
stakeholder group, you guys all should have picked it.
What's that?
It seems to me that if there is a stakeholder group, you guys should have been involved in saying who they are. If there was gonna be a group reviewing this before it came to the boards, it seems like you guys should have picked a subcommittee or something, you know? It shouldn't have just been,
Not just these guys, any board,
yeah,
Pleasant Springs, Deerfield,
yeah,
like,
well, yeah.
Well, Deerfield's in, Deerfield
Deerfield,
will be a mess.
yeah, they would be involved in the
This
EMS
is,
part,
this is
but-
primarily fire related.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean,
I think Eric Lang is on.
Yep, he's on now.
Eric Lane, where do you?
EE.
EE.
he might be involved in that meeting.
he's probably
Oh,
watching both meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's watching both meetings or trying.
So anyway, you guys just have to
Right.
decide if you're gonna pay anything for the governance and the extra presentation and.
No,
If that
I'll
is
second
what
your
they
mo-
are,
oh, sorry.
if that is what they're wanting, I feel like that discussion should be held now before we look at this. That we all should be in on that discussion.
Maybe you all should see the draft and then decide if you need more.
yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. Why do we need a pre-meeting of the pre-meeting of the pre-meeting to come up with the end result? This is crazy.
Yeah, she, like I said, this is unilaterally Cindy. She went to her attorney, or to the village's attorney, to have language drafted, and she obviously contacted PAA to get numbers for the fund, for the expenses that you see here. The other thing is that I've wondered quietly to myself, but I'm gonna say it out loud, how much ex parte communications has there been between the village of Cottage Grove and PAA
Yeah.
directly without involving the town at all?
Good point.
Yeah,
And I'm sure
there's
there
had
was-
been a lot of communication, whether it's,
I mean,
appropriate or
they
not, I don't
seem
know, but.
awful friendly, and yeah,
Well,
so anyway.
I think we should all
your
get
comment- Go
the,
ahead.
you said there was not a second draft yet, right? There's only the first draft?
No, there's a second
Oh,
draft.
there is, but we weren't given that.
No, and correct, and
And so she wants to have a
You
meeting
have seen it? You
so that
have
we
seen it?
understand.
I have, but it's yes and no. I have seen it, but I'm struggling to see how much difference there is between the first one.
is it something where you would say the second draft isn't gonna cut it and they go on to a third?
No, because it's gotten to the point where, no, we'll just, whatever we have, we're all gonna shoot it out together
Okay.
on the 14th.
So then is it that we're going to have all of these or one of these additional meetings? One of these?
So they're just picking
Pick
when we should have a meeting, right?
Pick a date.
Briefing.
From
For-
this week. For-
Correct.
One of those 3 days.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So those are
I
the
mean, I think I
dates.
can read. If you give me the thing, I can probably read through it. I don't need Tim Franz to frame the
I'm sorry, what?
issues. So this other meeting is a pre-briefing rather than a presentation so that board members have a common understanding of the work that's been completed and issues identified to date.
Till there's more issues. I mean, see, that makes no sense.
So can we just read it? Can you just give it to us? I mean, the village board and the town board agreed to pay for this study. We should all have access to it.
And we're gonna sit at our meeting with the village and discuss this. This is the whole thing we'll be talking about.
Hopefully it'll be other stuff too.
Like what? We should be here till 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's why I told you before. I
They
said,
shouldn't even be
bring
on
your-
this meeting.
bring your pajamas.
Yeah. This was never gonna be on the meeting, was it?
What, the PA study?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was,
that
that's
was-
supposed to be the final, it was supposed to be
That's
the
the
final
purpose of, that
presentation.
was the original
Oh,
purpose.
really? Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
14th,
I don't
yeah,
remember that.
that's what it was.
A pre-meeting.
No, it was gonna be the final meeting.
But it's not the final, that's my point. It's not the final
Yeah,
meeting.
she's given some dates for the final meeting.
So now we're gonna have another meeting.
A second. I just think we should just give us what you have and let us discuss it.
I'll stay up and read it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Tomorrow.
So, Mike, you made a comment.
I
No,
make a motion, we don't pay for the individual to come to the meeting,
and what
the
about the other?
9,000.
No,
Or whatever it is.
No, it was,
No,
the individual is,
Mr. Franz.
I can't remember the
Tim
cost.
Franz.
The cost of that is, our portion will be 273, but they will bill for actual hours and travel time.
So there's two things they're asking you to
Yeah.
pay a portion of.
Yeah.
Governance, which would add $1,262.44 to the town. And this extra presentation from Mr. Franz, which would be another $273.
I'd make a motion, we don't pay for either one. The $1,262.44 and Tim Franz's hourly rate of $110 per hour. At the village town meeting scheduled. That makes sense?
Plus his travel costs, right?
That's what I said,
Oh, okay.
$110 per hour to travel, whatever.
He's saying it would be no more than 800, and that would break down to 273 for the town.
Yeah.
Is there a second? I'll second it. We have a motion, a second, not to contribute toward Mr. Franz's expenses or the additional monies needed for the governance portion of the study. Any discussion?
Because you don't see a need for either one.
Well, I'm just gonna add that on, because we do not see the need.
And as far as discussion, before we would ever meet with the gentleman, I would like to go through the study. And then if he's there, I can ask questions. So to bring that study along with him.
But you see, the thing is that the information in the study doesn't pertain to him.
Right, yeah.
It's
He's an
two
addition.
apples and oranges thing. He'll have the study.
Yep. All right.
All right. I'm sure I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just, I
Yeah.
just, going back to, I don't see the need for it unless we would, all sit down and be able to have time with it, so.
All right, on the motion. All those in favor of not participating for the reasons stated, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
What about meeting dates? Do you want to meet on the 14th and one of those other days?
I could.
The 14th is a pre-briefing and then another date for the final study.
I've been holding the 14th for some time now, so.
There were also supposed to be some other items on that based on the whole discussion last time.
That's a 5:30 meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, at the village hall.
Well, this one's just, okay.
Those other dates, village hall, so we don't care. whether-
They're all Tuesdays, a week apart. The 29th of September, the 5th, the 6th, or the 13th of October.
You know, by doing them on Tuesdays, the chief isn't available.
Yeah.
Is that on purpose?
Apparently, he's going to be
He's
there.
not available. I mean, if you have to skip something else,
Right.
Tuesdays is his day.
Mhm.
The 29th is a date that I have put out to both the Flynn Hall and Parks committees.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you can.
I don't know, I'm having one heck of a time scheduling those meetings, but that is a date that I put out to both of them, and there was some availability and not really everybody, so I don't know if I would avoid it for that reason, but other than that, yeah, we don't have any other meetings on the calendar, those other Tuesdays either, so.
It's pretty easy to set up a meeting for Flint Hall, just a couple of phone calls I can make, and if something else
Yeah,
we decide on.
yeah.
Well, we don't have to choose it right now, right?
Well,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
we
prefer
should.
that way so we can get there.
So September 14th is still at 5:30.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So I
The
guess.
29th is bad because you've got some other
I
meetings.
mean.
Well, you don't know, but you have.
What's that?
She had a couple of
I
meetings,
have put that out there
For
as
Flynn
an
and-
offering, I don't know that it's gonna
Parks.
work.
Parks, okay, Parks and Flynn.
for either one of them, but either the 6th or 13th, there wouldn't be any conflicts with other town things that I know of.
I'm
What days
okay
are
with
those?
all
I can do
three.
the
I am
13th.
too. Should we take the 6th? Because later in the month, we're gonna have to be having budget meetings. When it goes, the closer it gets to that.
Yeah,
Again, my only concern is a Tuesday. I mean,
Oh, you're
is the
right.
chief not gonna be there?
Who?
I mean, the chief has officers
Fire?
meeting
Nick
on that.
Archibald.
Or no, yeah, there's a association meeting on Tuesday.
He'll be there. You'll have to skip the association meeting.
Got it.
If we do the 6th, it's 2 nights in a row,
All right.
or the 13th.
And budget month.
Any one of the three is okay with me, Kim.
6 or 13 I can do.
I like 6 myself.
Huh?
Okay, let's do the
I can-
6th,
I like 6, they're back to back.
back-to-back meetings, yeah.
Okay. All right.
just a consensus on that, or do you want a motion?
Just decided.
Consensus is good.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it?
Next item, discuss and consider enforcement of ordinances relating to development. The where to begin with this one?
Well, I mean, you can also fold into it the next item. So Mark Roffers has let us know that he's gonna be resigning as town planner by next May. This might have come because I've been doing a lot of complaining lately because I'm getting sick of herding cats for developments. All this development has created a tremendous amount of work for plan commission meetings, for, you know, hounding developers to finish their work so that we can accept their improvements. And we just don't have, I mean, it's not really the clerk's job. I don't like to say that it's not my job, but it really isn't my job to be making sure that a developer put the right pipe in the stormwater so that I can know that we can start accepting. I mean, there's nobody, it's not Dan's job really either. We don't really have anybody that is qualified and has the time to be just herding all the cats with all this development stuff that we have. And so I think we just need to start thinking about that. And whether we need to find, whether that needs to be factored in when we go to hire our next planning consultant somehow. Somebody that can do more on-site, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. We talked tonight about, you know, the as-built and all that kind of stuff, and who's watching that stuff. And then, like now with the HOAs, hopefully we can get rid of some of that. But during the whole development stuff, there's the plan commission is a ton of work. I mean, trying to get plan commission packets together, get all the documents, get all the players to get all their things to me in time for a meeting. That's a lot of work. It's been consuming my time. And maybe it's not going to continue long-term, so I don't know that we can really hire somebody, because like once Ironstone is done, how much more is there really going to be? But I think maybe this all just needs to get factored into what do we really need for a planning consultant going forward. I think a consultant is probably the right place for that. So you use them when you need them and they're not sitting here waiting for something when we don't. But you know, I mean, your next clerk is probably not going to be as interested or willing and to understand the development process as I've had to be. And I mean, I kind of like that side of things, so I probably have put myself in that, but it's a lot. And so I guess I think Steve brought this up because I've been doing a lot of complaining because it's just chaos the Thursday or Friday before a meeting, trying to pull everything together and get all this stuff lined up, and on top of being a clerk and a treasurer, and, you know, even with Jen there, and she's busy too. So it's just something to think about, is we have all these ordinances about, you know, what's supposed to happen when we develop the whole land division ordinance. When people don't follow that, who do we have that's supposed to be, you know, that they're not following it, and what are they supposed to be doing about it? That's kind of the crux of it.
Do other towns have like a part-time person that works for the planning commission?
I should read you what Mark wrote.
Well, a lot of that's our engineer's job, but we don't have an in-house engineer. We have an
Right.
outside engineer.
And the other thing is, well, she's looking it up. When we have deadlines, okay, for stuff to come out, and we don't have it, and like was it last week or the week before, there were waiting for, well, all these agreements we talked about tonight for Kennedy Hills.
We came in after 10 o'clock Thursday, and I had to get an agenda out the door and packets out
Yes.
the door.
And to me, I'm of the opinion, and Kim kind of talked me down off the ledge, if they don't get it there, too bad.
Yeah.
Stick them off another
The problem
month
is
or
that it
more.
wasn't the developer, it was waiting for our engineer to sign off so that the attorney could finish drafting it and send it to their attorney and get it reviewed. And so we couldn't really blame it all on them. You know, it's because we have all these different players that we need, but we don't really have control of any of them.
They're all in their own.
Yeah, and so
Silo.
this kind of cracked me up, honestly. I asked, I don't know where this all started, but I just said to Mark, seeing if Mark Roffers, if he had any recommendations. I said, which is the office, and Steve and I have been discussing whether we should advise the town board to hire someone to manage all the development issues, both during the approval process and follow-up. It's taking way too much of my time, Mark's time, because he's getting all this back and forth and in the middle of it too. And we don't really have anyone qualified to ensure they follow through with the conditions, et cetera, that are approved. And that's true too, like the design review, you know, the plan commission approves these huge lists of conditions for design review. And then we expect the building inspector to know if they're met. He doesn't know that, and that's not his job. He's enforcing building code. That's what he's trained and hired to do. And he doesn't, so then we end up going back to Mark and saying, did they meet these conditions? And then I gotta get proof of this and proof of that, and we're going back and forth, and there's nobody that's in charge. And so I asked him, do you have any suggestions for what qualifications we should be looking for? And he said, this is a problem for most any municipality that does not have an in-house planner or zoning administrator. And even with that, there are a few people who are both organized enough and not afraid to tick people off regularly to do a good job with this type of work. And then he says, P.S. you're good at it. So I'm good at pissing people off regularly, just so you know. But then he's saying, I wonder if the town is large enough and has enough activity to hire an in-house planner / code administrator / enforcement specialist. And I don't think they probably are. So I think you're kind of back to the consultant approach, but because now we're in a position of looking for a planner, maybe that needs to be factored in somehow.
Why is North leaving?
He's leaving because we're the last town that he's working with. All of his employees really don't do towns anymore. He's trying to free up some of his life.
He's been doing this for 35 years.
And so he's just kind of stepping back from that side of things.
So it's nothing really that a town of
I don't know, it might have been our 8-hour plan commission meeting a month ago.
So, yeah.
You know, that could be on us at the planning. It's been brought up before. Sometimes you just have to say no. You have to make a decision there and be done with this.
It's pretty hard to do when you get a person that was here earlier today after we
Well,
voted.
that's changed.
Yeah, he's on the planning commission.
But anyway, I don't know that there's any answer to either one of those
Chris is
questions
on the
right
planning
now.
commission,
But
isn't
I just
Oh,
think
no,
that
well, Chris is, yeah.
maybe it all goes.
He's a tough one.
So this consultant, so we have to look for a new consultant.
Yeah, so what Mark has done for us is, he totally did in 2016, I think, we totally looked at our comp plan.
Okay.
And he did all that, and then on every cycle where we've revised it, he's been involved, but then he also reviews all of the, like, design review things and makes sure that they're meeting all the standards in the plan, which he's really good at. And I mean, we don't have anybody else that does that is gonna review those to the level of detail. I mean, I was talking to Nick about it earlier today and then told him that Mark is leaving, and he said, boy, he's really good. And he said he even finds some of the engineering things before Nick even does, he's got just enough.
Right.
And so, but I mean, if you could find somebody like that again, who would be more available, and it would be in their scope of work to be following up on, like, these conditions and things like that none of us are any good at, or we're not trained at, we don't have time for, because I mean, otherwise you guys are just sitting up here setting conditions and they're not getting enforced because nobody has the time or wherewithal to do it.
I mean, so if we could get a consultant, and even if they didn't do that part of it, as long as their firm did that, they could pass it off. Say,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm doing this part of it,
Yeah,
but we want someone also to follow up on it.
you need somebody that
So
can,
we need a firm that's got some staff.
yeah, I think maybe.
When it comes down, because I know this has been in the past where people come to you and the stuff's got to be in the package, just like you said, where it has to go through all the channels, not necessarily the developer's problem. To me, if that's what it takes to do stuff and you put on the agenda for the next month, you really want to be on for the said month, and you have to go to the next, and that's what it
And
has to be.
that does happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're up against, like, county deadlines and.
To the back with it. I mean, seriously, who set the county deadline?
Right, well, and we've had several lately that have been delayed, but sometimes it's our fault, I mean, sometimes it's just takes too long to get, well, that development for Newman, I asked Bill Cole for that two meetings ago, the next morning. It came Thursday morning at, I think it was here when I got here Thursday morning. I expected it for the meeting before. They didn't have it ready. I put it back a meeting. It came Thursday. There were some typos and stuff that I fixed, like the heading was a totally different subject. But stuff like that where, it's some of this stuff, we're not the top priority of some of the firms that we already work with. Nick is a very busy person. Tom works with him up in the town of Windsor, and he knows too, Nick is very busy. And he's a hard one that, when he gets focused on us, he does a good job, but he's going a lot of directions, so we need to find somebody or some firm or something that is focused on maybe a little bit more on us. I mean, I noticed a huge difference. Remember when Connie was our attorney?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, like, she was so focused on us that, I could call her at any time. I could get an answer right away. I could get stuff when I needed it. It's not like that anymore. And I think it's just because we're a small fish in the sea of the ones we're working with.
He does Monona too.
And several others.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
And several.
So.
But I mean, he's a good guy.
He
Does a good
is,
job.
and I'm not trying to get anybody
Yeah,
in
I
trouble
know
or
that.
bash anybody, but I'm just saying, it's apparent that, that these people are all busy, and so I don't think we can always say it's the developer's fault, it is.
But a lot of it is because they want stuff done now, right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm serious. That's what starts the whole thing,
It's like the guy from Tracty Building or what, the
Cleary.
Cleary Buildings. How many times he called us? I want a special meeting. I want a special meeting. I want a special meeting. No,
Well, and
I
that's the case.
and
where-
there's just because of the fact things have been delayed so long.
was a case too of like not submitting complete information, and there definitely are those cases too. And then it ends up being a scramble, to get something together so that you have something to look at. But I'm not looking to fix that. I'm more looking at on the backside of, we're doing all this development. It makes there be responsibilities that the town should be following through on, and we don't have anybody to follow through on them. And I think Dan would agree. He sees it too. So I just think that if we're gonna do an RFP for a planning consultant, maybe that we can roll some other things into that and try to
Right.
have more follow-up help.
I think we did a lot, with developments. We added all kinds of stuff ourselves because we were not doing things. We didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And of course, that's caused a lot of problems too,
Yep. Yep, it has. I mean, I'm as bad as anybody. The first few developments we did, Connie
Nightmare.
got me through a lot of them. She helped a lot, but since then and through the years, we've been developing checklists and things to try to guide people through to show them what they need and what comes first and what comes next. And we've been working really hard to have all that stuff. To get them to use them and read them is just like getting people to read anything else.
Is she retired
Oh,
or?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was
You know,
great.
it's-
Just
that's the
traveling
kind
the
of-
world.
That's the kind of person you'd want to hire part-time
I
to,
know,
to go be in charge of this kind of stuff with the planning commission.
I know.
Part-time.
That would be ideal if you
Yeah.
could find like somebody.
And bill you for what she does.
Towards the end of their career as a planner / engineer, maybe with a strong legal background,
Yeah.
and not be looking for a full-time job, just wanting to
Right.
use their expertise still. But that's a kind of a unicorn to find.
But that was great to have the checklists. They were ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And because in the end, when we didn't have them, we asked the question, well, was this done? Was this done? And you look at over at the developer or the person doing the building, like, well, we didn't know it needed to be done.
yeah,
Well, now you know it needs to be done. It's the matter of checking it now, but you're further ahead than what you were.
yeah, definitely. Made some progress, but
The next step is just verifying.
that's just consequence of all this development.
He's kind of stepping back, kind of
reducing
Well, yeah,
his
I
work,
think that
reducing his work.
if we do an RFP, it should include both of those.
Yeah.
I like
You know,
it.
we want more than just a planning consultant. We want, whether we call it enforcement or
35 years of it.
follow through or whatever it is.
Even, yeah, and
I
even.
mean, boots on the ground, kind of
And
thing.
even like the property maintenance enforcement stuff
Right.
that our building inspector's doing, that's not really his wheelhouse, but
Right.
he's the one that's in the ordinance to do it. So he does his best. But, you know, that's something else that a person like that could do, to be the one that is, I mean, we don't have a zoning code, so we don't have a zoning administrator, but we need somebody, the police aren't gonna enforce those kind of ordinances either. There's a whole set of ordinances that really nobody is enforcing.
Well, I think all the things that you're bringing up, we should try to tie together for the RFP,
Mhm.
which is not just replacing roffers, it's
So Mark did
It's
just
enhancing the whole
today
program.
send an RFP that we could maybe get started looking at, and I think I might also see what the Clerks Network can offer. See what other people have used. I don't know if I'll get anything for that or not, but,
if someone's got something good they don't want to share.
well, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, what they've used to try to find a person
Sure.
like that, because I'm sure that we're not the only town that has having these growing pains with growing, you know?
I've got an exec committee meeting with the Dane County Towns tomorrow afternoon, so
Hmm.
I'll ask also there. And
Yeah, who does that work for them?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Bristol does a fair amount of development, so I can ask their chair
Mhm.
and,
Wish we could clone Mark.
yeah,
I know, he's really something.
Tone Middleton.
she's the one that needs to be cloned.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Now even.
So just know, we're gonna discuss that, you know, at budget time and figure out where we're gonna go, how many hours, and, you know, as much as we can ahead of time. And
Well, I'll see what we can get started looking at drafting.
the
up an
RFP for maybe
See
our
what I
next
get for
meeting.
samples and.
Are we still looking for a second part-time person, or
That's another discussion.
That's
Well, I
another
mean-
discussion we need to have.
couldn't we hire somebody that, hopefully that maybe would have some kind of ability like we're talking about?
That's what we've been
Part-time.
discussing too.
That is a great idea.
Mhm.
That's another unicorn.
I know. That is a discussion that we've had and we haven't gotten quite.
Somebody that
far.
could always be at the planning commission meetings and,
Yeah.
and stay up on that and still be in the office.
That's what I kind of envision, and taking, and maybe in the field a little bit too, you know, running
Yeah.
around checking up on, did they really do what these conditions told them to do? Because we don't, and that might give more work to get enough hours to maybe attract somebody that isn't just looking for a couple days a week and moves on.
That would be an
That sounds like a
excellent
great
plan,
idea.
really.
I think you still need somebody,
Sure.
a planner, to interpret your comp plan and review all these things, and that's probably a consultant, but somebody to take over the plan commission and the cat herding that goes with that.
Especially with the development going on.
Because again, I don't think your next clerk is probably gonna have time for that.
Right.
taking over
Or not be able to
treasurer
do all
job.
of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's 10 years down the road, so.
Oh, yeah. All right, I think, I don't know, I'm done.
Anyway, that's the extent of that. I don't know, we have any action to be taken?
I like the idea of trying to take that second part-time position and
I'll add it to the next
see if you
agenda.
can do something with that. That sounds great.
It does, sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah, but what you need to think about then is what do you want? What qualities and qualifications are you looking for in
Yeah.
the job description? That's
And
what's,
and pay scale.
and that's
Yeah.
what's.
Maybe
tough.
start with what you really need and you work your way down.
You know more than we do what you think the job should be, I think. You know more than I do about what you think we need.
All right,
So like I said, I and J will be rolled in together and Dan, you're up.
All right, well, I was off last week. Fun time in Canada.
Good for you.
Had some good fishing experiences, but I think just before I left was the emergency right-of-way permit for Alliant Energy up here on Bass, right? Or was that right when I got back?
I think Jen did that.
Okay, I think maybe that's right when I got back on Monday. I caught him up there.
What happened?
Oh, the company, Verizon's got the company out there doing work. They clipped a power line
Oh, geez.
up in Sky High, so Alliant Energy had to get in and fix it. So they had an emergency dig permit. And then, Payne and Dolan let me know today that they potentially will start paving work, the week of the 31st. So last week of the month. Technically next month. But, yeah,
We probably need to tell the schools about that then, huh?
as far as,
Because it'll be happening during bus time.
I guess we always pave summertime, but we
Yeah.
never paved into September. This is the latest we've ever gone.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess. They have to tell them the roads that are gonna be experiencing troubles on anyway.
Yeah.
Kennedy, Baxter, West Ridge,
We
Fieldview.
we can talk about that, what the schedule looks like and.
Send it to each school district. Yeah,
That's on top of the.
and we don't know the exact dates, so
Yeah, BB closed plus the roads. That's my only way home.
BB potentially be
BB
closed too,
closed, yeah.
so it's just gonna be a mess. But yeah, other than that, it's been raining, so we're back to mowing again, full strength. Yeah,
You're doing a great job.
trying. We got, I ordered, well, I gotta confirm it tomorrow, but playground chips, I know that was one of the things the Parks Committee wanted to get done. So we're gonna get a semi-load of that in and get that laid down too here soon.
What chips you're talking about?
Yeah, play chip. The rounded cut ones or whatever, they get the special coating on them, so they don't deteriorate fast. Yeah, that's all I had.
No treasures.
We had 1,026 total voters last week. 246 of those were absentees, absentees. So that's about a 38% voter turnout with 24% absentee. Election went pretty good. It was tough to find enough help. A lot of people were on vacation, a lot of workers are on vacation. I'm gonna need to draw a little harder line, I think, in the future and tell people that, if they're gonna sign up to be an election worker, they need to watch the summer dates because I still need help then too. But
Jen was out here working, wasn't she?
Jen and I both covered breaks.
Oh, that's what it was,
Because,
okay.
and then I did have one person that had to work a double because I was missing, somebody had a family emergency and couldn't work, but it worked out okay. Our Badger Book server at one point spontaneously shut down, and when it came up, it thought it didn't have an operating system. And I was able to get it back up again, but I contacted the vendor and we need to send that in. I just got the information today to send it in to get it looked at before November, so I don't know if it's gonna need a new hard drive or what. Of course, it was out of warranty on July 26th. Oh. So I don't know what that's gonna mean, but I don't know. But luckily I got it back up again. Another clerk I saw that got theirs the same year we did, which was 2023. So they'd only been using like 12 elections. I would not think a hard drive would be going yet, but anyway, they had the same thing, but theirs did not come back up. So, so that was, I don't know, that was the biggest glitch we had, I guess, but everything recovered.
Could you tell how many people with write-in ballots had voted for somebody that wasn't even on the ballot anymore?
I don't have that in front of me, but there were people who voted for candidates who had withdrawn, both absentee and election day in-person voters.
Really?
No.
Holy.
Oh,
They're trying to
my
make a point, but
God.
they just made a mistake. I'm not in touch.
I can see the absentee.
Yes, I can see absentee, but not.
When you say absentee, that's The early voting plus the mail-ins?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we had 65 in-person absentee voters out of the 246. So we had, how many ballots that weren't returned?
How many were not returned? I'm
We
sorry.
sent out 271 and we got 246 back, so that wasn't too bad.
That's pretty close.
I always like to figure out what it costs to mail those, just for the heck of it. It was about $65 that we spent in postage for ones that never came back. But and that doesn't say anything about our time to do it, but
Right.
whatever. What else do I have here? I guess that's most of it. I don't know, otherwise, good practice for November.
And you're required to do the early voting
Oh, yeah.
for how long?
It's, you can set your hours, but you have to publish them in advance. You can't do it before 2 weeks before the election is the soonest that you can do it. So I just always do office hours starting that 2 weeks, and then the last Friday, you're required to be here till 5 p.m.
Oh, okay.
And so I always, it's not really for voting, it's for people that want to register to vote. That's what the statute is for, but I just always stay open till 5. And then the Thursday before, people can still request a ballot until 5 o'clock. So if I go home, somebody will ask for a ballot. So I just always stay then too. So I'm open that Thursday and Friday till 5.
Of the 246 absentee, any rough idea how many used the Dropbox, or were they?
I don't have that with me here. I can maybe find that though.
Because you had to put stamps on them anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think
You put them in the Dropbox, I get to put a stamp on it?
No.
we have to send.
But they
returns.
all would anyway,
Put a
though.
stamp on it.
What's that?
You put 2 stamps
We
on
have
it.
to
the
put,
return
The
postage.
town has to put
Yeah.
the postage on it.
You're thinking they're gonna mail them, but then they bring them down,
we
and put
have
them in the
to, we
box.
have to put it on coming and going, yeah. Returned 24
Ridiculous.
people, 24 people walked their ballots into the clerk's office while we were open.
Jesus, that
Which
doesn't
is-
make any sense.
Well, no, they like to see, they like to be sure that we have it. That's one of the ways. And 61 returned it by Dropbox and 96 returned them by mail. And there were four people like overseas and military can request ballots to be emailed, and then they have to print it and mail it back in. There were 4 of those sent out, only 1 came back.
Probably postage, because I remember when our daughter was in the Peace Corps in Ghana, and you sent her the ballot, but, it takes forever to get
Yeah.
over there. And then you couldn't put American postage
Yeah.
on, she had to put on Ghanaian postage to get
Yeah.
it. It's so slow.
Yep. So percentage wise, 30% returned by the Dropbox, about 12% brought them in, and 47% mailed them. We had 1 come in the day after the election, but it wasn't mailed until election day, so I don't know what they expected. It was postmarked election day, which I guess doesn't mean anything because they don't postmark it till it gets to Milwaukee.
Right.
So they could have mailed it the day before and, but yeah, it's interesting. And then, the other thing that can happen with that I think we had maybe 5 cross-voted ballots from absentee voters, which means they didn't pick a party and they voted in more than 1 party, so nothing counted.
Right.
That won't happen on election day. It can't happen on election day because the machine will kick it back to them. It also can't happen if they vote in person, absentee in person, and they use the express votes, because they only show 1 party and you can't cross-vote. So, anyway. All right, enough about that.
Board reports and communications.
Can I report on Town Advocacy Council? I'm sorry it's so late.
That's okay.
It's your fault.
You're right. I volunteer for this because I think it's important that town voices are heard in the Capitol. And I listened in to the meeting and I really learned a lot about other towns and other issues. And I reinforces how lucky we are to have Kim. and Dan. I mean, listening to the other issues. So I'll try to be short. LRIP grants, too complicated. So many towns said they couldn't afford to apply for them because they need help and they can't afford the help to apply for these grants. Another said that increase in general town aid rather than grant funding we need to apply for was one thing that they really strongly advocated for, which really makes sense.
Yeah.
Just increase it. Forest County town that has roads that are all too narrow to apply for LRIP money. There's some unique issues. To the bottom, to the chase, they're asking towns to come up with a resolution asking the legislature to have dedicated transportation revenue for towns.
Dedicated
Transportation revenue.
Oh,
Such as
revenues. Okay.
Revenue, so that we would know, we would definitely have this amount and adopt it as a resolution and send it to the Towns Association. So that's the bottom line. I have other details another time. It's late. But can we put that on?
Are they gonna do a template for that? Somebody do?
I'm sure they would have it. I'll contact them to send them
Okay.
a template. I'll contact them. Okay.
We've found that lately that you pretty much have to have an engineer to even submit any grants.
And that's what they said.
Yeah,
They said they couldn't afford it.
they don't want us doing them anymore, even though we could do them. It's just that even when it comes time to accept the money for doing the work, then they have to have an engineer look at it, sign off on it, and then they'll send us the check.
Engineers lobbied for this.
Must have.
Must have. That's a good point. Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you for going.
Anybody else have anything? I told you that I struck out with the county with the county highway.
Tried.
You tried.
Yeah. I did find out though that the county failed to notify the village of Deerfield that 73 through downtown is going to be the detour. So when I see Carrie on Thursday night, that surprise. Yeah. And I forget how many cars a day the county had figured, and it was a lot. Other thing that, or some of the things that extra that we're gonna talk about on this 14th is this road connection between town and village. See what, where that's going. And
What do you mean?
Do we want to survey?
no,
the
I'm
neighbors?
just saying, we're gonna discuss it, because all I see is from Cindy, okay? Someone here, I don't know if it was Kim or you or somebody has said that they've been in contact with some of the residents on the village side.
Oh, that was
Or
me.
you, okay, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who they were, because they
No,
don't
no.
wanna be known, but
Right.
they don't
But I'm
want
just-
the roads to go through.
Correct. And so I don't know if the village is aware of it or not, or the village cares.
I told
I
Paula
don't
about
know.
it.
I don't know that. So anyway, I think that's very important and needs to be discussed.
Mhm.
And put to bed, instead of having the village bring it up year after year after year, or when a new village board member comes on, oh, I want to do this kind of thing.
Because a lot of those people built their houses just for the same reason, that they got a dead end road right by their house, you know?
Correct. And I have a couple other things that we'll go ahead and bring up also that night. That's why I said bring your jammies and, or get somebody to make a pot of coffee or whatever, but,
Might do that.
then That's all I've got. Committee reports. Did we have, you reported on landfill?
Yep. That's the,
That
Are you ready
was,
for a motion to adjourn?
sure can.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Non-debatable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Who says second?
I did.
Wow, lots of stuff. I can't believe it.